And I'd like to welcome you all to our Tuesday 1:30 p.m. session with the Legal Counsel for the Elderly. We'll be learning more about the Emergency Rental Assistance Program presented by Robin Griffin. Thank you so much. I'm going to read our disclaimer before we get started. The WildTech DC Senior iPad program, its owners and presenters offer technical assistance, virtual health well-being information designed for educational purposes only. You should not rely on the information in any apps or topics made by WildTech, including but not limited to mobile device applications and any social media pages maintained by WildTech, its owners, or presenters as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or legal advice. Thank you so much for letting me read the disclaimer. If you cannot see us, hear us, or see the screen, please let us know in the chat, and we would appreciate that. Let's make sure to keep our TVs and cell phones silenced to give others and ourselves the most immersive experience. And as always, I recommend you take notes and or screenshots so that way you can review the information for later. But once again, Robin, if you could introduce yourself and your topic for today, we'd really appreciate that. And once again, thanks so much for coming on to our sessions.
Of course. Thank you all for having me. My name is Robin Griffin. I'm a senior attorney at Legal Counsel for the Elderly, and today I will discuss with you emergency rental assistance. All right, and I am happy to get started. First, I wanted to address your concerns with communication, and just apologize because I know it's frustrating to reach out for assistance and to have a wait. There are many seniors that we are assisting, so sometimes there is a bit of a wait. So again, I want to apologize for that. In the chat, for Miss Thompson and also I believe it's Miss Doris. I apologize, I didn't catch her last name. I want to put my personal cell phone number. If you will, after this presentation, we usually end about an hour. So Miss Thompson, if you're available around maybe 3, and Miss Doris, if you're available around 3:30, if you'll give me a call, I'll take your name, your number, the legal issue that you need assistance with, and I'll send this directly to our hotline so they can follow up with you to ensure that an attorney reaches out to you to help you resolve your issue. Again, Miss Thompson, if you want to give me a call at 3, and Miss Doris, if you can reach out to me at 3:30, I'll get your name, your number, your legal issue to ensure that an attorney gets back to you about, what you're going through, because we want to make sure that you get the legal assistance that you need to resolve your issue. Any questions or concerns about that before we get into the presentation?
Oh, Miss Robin, I'm gonna send that over to Miss Thompson. She is not in the call anymore, so I'll make sure to relay that message to her.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right, now I will share my screen and we can get started talking about emergency rental assistance.
Thank you for mentioning that, Robin. Appreciate it. I know it's a really busy time of year.
Okay. All right, so let me. Are you all able to see the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes, you're good to go, Robin. Thank you so much.
Okay, awesome. All right. So, as we are moving into the Thanksgiving holiday, we all have a lot to be grateful for. And with this presentation today, we really want to make sure that housing stability is not something that you have to worry about this season. So if you, a senior you know, or maybe another caregiver are facing a housing emergency, the Emergency Rental Assistance Program may be able to help you with overdue rent, a security deposit, or first month's rent. This program is designed to provide relief to residents of DC who have, this need, and the program will provide support so that they can stay in their homes. So we're going to go over how you can apply, who's eligible, what documents you need. Let's get started. As I share with you every month, I am from Legal Counsel for the Elderly, where we assist clients with, receiving income, benefits, and services to which they're entitled to help them live independently in the community. All right. So, what is emergency rental assistance? What is the program? It's important to note that Emergency Rental Assistance Program, also known as ERAP, provides funding to help eligible households facing eviction or housing instability. So, the program can help you with overdue rent. It can help again with security deposits and a first month's rent for you if you're moving into a new apartment. And how much you receive is going to depend on your household income and available resources. So we want to make sure that you check the criteria to ensure that you are eligible. And we're going to go over that criteria today. The first criteria you want to check is income. There are different income limits. You cannot go over 40% of the monthly limit. For one person, that's going to be $3,549 per month. And then it increases as your household size increases. So I'll pause here a moment so you can see the difference in household size, whether you are a household of one versus being a household of five. Okay, now in addition to income, there are also application requirements. To apply for ERAP, there are a few important documents you'll need to provide with your application, and we'll go over a quick checklist. First, you need to prove that you're a resident of DC, and you can do this by having a lease agreement, or you can have a letter from your landlord. Next, you need a government issued ID, and that can be a DC ID, it can be a driver's license, a passport, but it is important to know that they need it for all adults in the household. You also need proof of income. If you work, that'll be your check stub, a W-2. If you receive Social Security, you can get a printout from Social Security proving your benefits. And the same thing for veterans benefits. If you are a recipient of veterans benefits, then you'll just want to get that printout from the VA. Now, it's important to note that DC recently updated their requirements for ERAP. You do have to have proof that you are in an emergency, okay? And that your need is critical. And the way that you can prove that is if you've had a job loss, you can provide your termination letter. if you have a medical emergency that resulted in maybe high medical expenses, you can submit those expenses to prove that you're going through this financial hardship. If you're increased, maybe you've had an increase in living expenses that have prevented you from staying up to date with your rent. You can also submit that as proof of your emergency. If maybe you've had a change in your household, where maybe there was a death in the family or a change in the lease agreement, where you no longer have income that you once depended on, you can submit that as well to prove that, again, there's an emergency in your household. All right. And as I stated before, you can use ERAP if you fall behind on your rent. You can also use ERAP if you're moving into a new apartment and you need assistance with your deposit and your first month's rent. You just need to provide proof. Proof includes your rental agreement, also your approval notice for the new apartment. And remember that these additional documents may be requested during the process. So it's better to have them ready when you apply so that you can receive your decision back in a timely manner as soon as possible. All right. So I did want to point out to you that over the past year, DC took ERAP applications once every quarter. They opened up their portal to ensure that people who needed the assistance received it. They're changing that starting November 20th, where they will open it. And then once all of the funds are used, they're going to close it until the next fiscal year. And that's why I wanted to meet with you before November 20th in case there's anyone here who needs assistance with their rent, or maybe you have a family member. You can let them know that the portal is opening soon and that they can apply for assistance. The portal will open November 20th at 12 p.m. and you can apply through that portal. I want to pause here because I know I've given information about the income, about the application, and the changes with the portal, in addition to how do you prove an emergency. Does anyone have any questions before I move forward? All right. Well, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so another feature that I wanted to share with you all is that there is going to be a change November 20th. In the past, sometimes there were so many applicants that the website for ERAP crashed. So, to ensure that everyone receives the assistance that they need, when you're applying, you may notice that you're in a waiting room, and that's only to ensure that everyone receives the help that they need. You'll be in line. You shouldn't lose your place in the waiting room, but as soon as others complete their application, then you'll be able to move through the process to the application to complete it. So I wanted to let you know in case you apply or someone else is applying, you can let them know that if they're in a waiting room, that it's a part of the process to ensure that everyone has access to the application. Because in the past, the website would crash, people would be unable to file their application. So they really want to make sure that everyone has access to the application. All right. So now I would like to talk to you about the portal. So DHS introduced a new housing portal to help ensure, again, that the ERAP process is streamlined. As I said in the prior slide, there were some issues in the past year with the site crashing. So the portal allows housing providers, like landlords, to upload their business licenses, rental ledgers, and other important documents to ensure that your application is not going to be delayed by not having that information. Okay, and we talked a little bit before about the change with the emergency situation. Um, Currently, you must have an emergency situation. Think change in your household, a loss of a job, high medical cost. You have to have an emergency situation to apply for ERAP. Another change that's important to note is that in the past, you could just fill out an unsworn declaration, also known as, a self attestation. Um, that word is also always difficult, but basically, it's like an unnotarized document. It's basically a statement where you're saying you are who you are. It could be about your income or your household size or some other information about your application. Moving forward, they have removed the ability to submit unsworn declarations. And they do have a list of documents similar to the documents that we went over before that you have to submit in order to verify your application. These include, again, your IDs, your letters from your landlord, your lease, and other important documents. All right, so if you would like assistance or you know someone in your family who needs assistance, they can go in person November 20th at the Laman Riggs campus. I have the address there for you, starting at 12 p.m. through 4:15 p.m. You can go in person, speak to a DHS agent who will assist you with your ERAP application. There will be another clinic, but they haven't put out the date and time yet. So, again, if you or your family member would like assistance with completing an ERAP application, um, they can do that November 20th from 12 p.m. till 4:15 p.m. They can go in person and speak to a DHS agent. Okay. Also, I wanted to provide you with this number in case you would like to do it online at your iPad. If you have any questions or need assistance, DHS put out this number to call specifically for ERAP issues, and that's 202 507 6666. Again, that number is 202 507 6666. All right, so I will stop sharing my screen to see if anyone has any questions about the ERAP application or about the process.
Thank you, Robin, for again going over that information, especially about those new requirements. Things change sometimes every year or every other year. So it's always great to be informed of the changes. So thank you so much.
You're right, Alex. And as I said at the beginning, we're going into the Thanksgiving season and we all have so much to be grateful for. We really at LCE just want to ensure that, seniors have the housing stability that they deserve. So if anyone needs assistance, I would advise you to go to that DHS clinic November 20th. And tell anyone who you think would need assistance, because it's so important, to have the housing that we deserve. Yes, Miss Dennis?
Mhm. Thank you. Yep. If anyone else has any other questions or comments for Robin, please raise your hand. But just real quick, Robin, did you have some, are you gonna like showcase the application, or is it, or are you just mainly taking questions for the rest of the session?
Yeah, I can take questions. I can also put the portal address in case anyone would like to take a look at it and their iPad. I will get that email.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
that
also
was.
I also put it in our daily email, so the link to the ERAP website as well. So
Oh,
make sure,
awesome.
yeah, so please put it in the chat so folks can copy or check it out now. But also please make sure you check out our daily email. You can actually tap on the name of the program and it'll take you to the website directly. And so yes, Robin is getting that website for you all. It's the ERAP DHS website, right?
Yes, and I am going to put that in the chat for
Mm-hmm.
everyone.
And
And
then
then,
oh, sorry. I thank you so much, Robin. I really appreciate that. Yes, I see the chat here. Do you mind going back to the slide with the clinic information?
yeah, let me do that right now.
Yes. And then you can, stay on your presentation in case you need to like go to another slide. Someone has a question. So you can stay in your slides if you would like.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, there you go. Take a screenshot, yeah, of that. It's coming, let's see, tomorrow, the next week after tomorrow. Wow, that's so fast, right?
Yes, which is good, because if you need this assistance, it's good to get it as soon as possible. We want to make sure, everyone has peace of mind as they're going into the holiday season. So, and especially because they're talking about closing the portal once all of the funding is gone, you'll want to get your application in sooner than later if you need assistance.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you, thank you. Okay, we have two hands up, so appreciate it. Again, if you have any questions or comments for Robin, please raise your hand and speak. Okay, Anne, thanks so much for your patience.
Oh, hi, Robin. This is Ann Dennis. Kathy and Ira Coach just started me to let you know that I was on the line, and that I would be presenting some of your information to the community organization.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah, so I just wanted to I'm Ward 7's representative, advisory council representative. So she told me just to let you know that I was on the call. Okay.
Great. Thank you for
Okay.
being
Good
here.
job. Good job. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anne. Next up is Miss Doris. I hope you were able to grab that information. Do you have another question or comment for us, Miss Doris? Ms. Doris, are you there? All right. Maybe perhaps you may have stepped away. Just don't forget to hit unmute, and we'll be able to address your question. Miss Watson, thanks so much for coming on. You have a question or comment for Robin? Yeah, you got to hit unmute in the middle.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I would not get on my tablet. I don't know what I'm doing. I just asked my granddaughter to fix it for me. And long time I think it just keep turning around, and it wouldn't go in. So that's why I'm late. So I didn't get all the information.
Okay, that's fine, Miss Watson. Again, our sessions are recorded, so you can check out our video on our channel when it gets uploaded. But yes, definitely check it out so you can take advantage of the information. But did you have a question or comment for Robin?
No, I'm no. I just want to find out all the details Suppose if I would like to move from here and look for another apartment, do they help you with that?
If you're,
Yeah. Oh,
oh,
yeah.
go ahead, Alex.
Oh, no. Thank you, Ms. Watson, for your question. So just real quick, again, this session will be uploaded on our channel a couple of days. But yes, Robin, are you able to answer that? And I think if you could put the number for the LC in the chat as well, I think that will be helpful too.
Sure, I'm happy to put the number in the chat. And I did want to share, Miss Watson, that if you're in an emergency situation, ERAP will help with your first month's rent and your deposit. So they can help with that if you're in an emergency situation. And an emergency situation includes, if you have high medical bills, if maybe you recently lost your job, if you had a change in your household, as long as you have that emergency, they will assist you with the first month's rent and the deposit.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and here on let's see, this slide, I did want to again emphasize that DHS is having an in-person clinic. So if you're thinking about applying, you can go November 20th and in person and speak to a DHS representative who will help you to file your application.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you, Ms. Watson.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry to be late. I was trying.
It's okay. Thank you so much. Any other questions for Ms. Robin? Yes, Ms. Doris, thank you so much.
Yeah, I was just able to mute just now. My question is, if a person their income done reduced and they living barely living, just paying off of their income from Social Security, will this program help them to get a place where they can afford to live?
This program is for when you're either behind or you're on your rent, or if you're in an emergency situation, moving into like a new apartment to help pay for, the deposit and your first month's rent. So if you mentioned, living off of Social Security and barely being able to make it, if you're behind on the rent, and if you have, high medical bills or a change in your household or another emergency situation, I would advise you to file the application. But typically, this program is for people who are going through an emergency and they're behind on their rent. So you must have a balance to your landlord, and you have to be behind in order to be eligible for this program.
Okay, but it's not for me for rent. I'm just checking on this for my brother.
Yes.
Because he's paying a whole lot of money and his check is not enough to pay his rent.
Right. And if it's not enough and he is behind, I would advise your brother to go November 20th to the DHS clinic, and he can, speak to a DHS representative who can help him to apply, and they can help him to get caught up on his rent.
His rent is caught up, but he living he living scarcely, but he paying his rent. But
right.
It's a struggle, from his income.
Right. Well, if he's caught up, then he won't want to apply for this program because, again, you have to owe a balance. I put the LCE number in the chat. If your brother is 60 years or older, give him our number. And we do have social workers who can assist with, maybe helping him to find a cheaper place if his, Social Security is not enough to pay his rent.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank
Any
you,
other
Ms.
questions?
Doris. Yeah. Really appreciate the questions. I know they help out, others as well, please share this and utilize this information for you all, but also share with your friends and family and everyone in between. You never know who may need some assistance. So yeah, any other questions? Don't forget to raise your hand, and we'd love to address them as best we can. Mr. Angelo, thanks so much for joining. You
I'm
have
glad.
a question?
Yeah. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Alex. Question. This program, like I understood everything you said, but is it mainly to help senior citizens find places like apartments to live in, et cetera, or does it
Yeah,
help?
it's financial assistance. So if you're behind on your rent and you're going through an emergency, they will provide funds directly to your landlord to help you get caught up on your rent.
Right. Okay. Well, suppose you're trying to get out of the situation that you're in and move to another location. Is that possible that you get help that way also?
Well, ERAP won't help you to find another apartment,
Okay.
but ERAP does provide the financial funds.
Okay.
Yeah, they provide funds for you to get caught up on your rent, or if
Right.
you're having an emergency, they can also help to pay for your first month's rent and your deposit.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you, Robin.
of course. Any other questions about the ERAP program? Or has anyone used the program in the past? Would you like to share about your experience?
My friend utilized the program, especially it was around the COVID time, so I'm sure it was different guidelines, things of that nature. But she was able to utilize it to help pay her rent. She children as well, so the assistance really assisted her out at that time.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, and it was easy. It was an easy process. She did it through a service provider. I think it was Salvation Army. I'm not sure, but it was another provider that helped out with this. So it was great.
Awesome.
Thank you, Miss Dolores. Did you have a question for Robin, or did you want to share your thoughts?
Yes, I experienced ERAP. Um, I had an injury on my leg for like 6 months. They wouldn't allow me to draw unemployment. My job had not let me go, but I was not getting like medical or paycheck from them. So I applied for ERAP and they paid the whole 6 months. Well, and they paid like 7 months to give me time to go back to work and receive to pay the next month rent.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you for sharing.
No problem.
Thank you so much, Miss Dolores. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Any other questions or any other testimonies as well about ERAP? Anything else regarding legal counsel as well, since we have some time? Any other questions or comments for Rob? Any other questions or comments? Okay, Anne, thanks so much. And then we'll have Miss Dolores afterwards.
I just wanted to say, Robin, that thank you for talking to seniors in a way that you aren't talking over their heads. Sometimes we need a little help in grasping legal terms and stuff. So I appreciate that.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I'm always happy to come and speak to you all, and I appreciate you all allowing me to be here at your meetings.
Thank you, Anne, for your kind words. I definitely agree. Thank you.
I'm not a part I'm not on the board at Wild Tech, but I do appreciate what they try to do for us.
Again, once again, thank you so much, Anne. That's why we keep doing this. Thank you. Miss Dolores, you have a question or another comment for Robin?
Yes, I have a question. Do the legal counsel help with guardianship of an adult with like mental challenge? It's like 18 and up.
Yes, we help with guardianship as long as the person is 60 years of age or older. We
Uh-huh.
have trained attorneys who can assist in guardianship. And I made sure to put the number in the chat. So please give us a call if you would like assistance with that.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah, I just it's the 434 number, right, Robin? I just
Yes.
re-entered that into the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions or comments? It will be, we'll look forward to your session next month, Robin. But what are some, just generally, what are some other things that folks can call the hotline for?
Yeah, you can call our hotline if you have any questions about your public benefits, including Social Security benefits, veterans benefits, utility assistance like LAHEAP, transportation issues. If you're dealing with any housing issues with your mortgage or other consumer issues, you can give us a call and we're happy to help. If you're going through eviction or if you're having any issues with your landlord, we can help with that as well. If you're going through medical issues with your Medicaid, Medicare, QMB, or if you're 60 years of age or older and you would like assistance from an aide, we can also help you with the EPD waiver program. So thank you, Alex, for putting our number in the chat. If there is an issue that you would like assistance with, feel free to give us a call.
Thank you, Robin, for that. Because there's a lot of things that you guys assist with, and like you said, it's the holidays, and that time of year. So it's really important. I've definitely experienced in my life to get those things done before, not before that time, but when we know that it may be really busy or just to plan ahead. So it's so important that you guys take advantage of these in-person events, these windows of opportunity for these applications. I know, Robin, you shared a lot about LAHEAP and other members. You guys talked about public benefits, how to look for those, and wills and last testaments. All of that great information is so important. So I really appreciate you sharing that and
Of
all that
course.
information.
Of course.
Yeah, I would thank you for answering that question. Legal aid DCF and bread for the city under the age of 60. That's a great resource. I was going to ask something similar. So thank you for your comment, Anne. Miss Dolores, did you see that? Did you say that you guys do wills?
Yes, we do wills as well. Durable power of attorneys, different health documents to accompany your will. We can help you with your whole estate of planning for free.
Yes, I love it. Thank you. Yeah. Someone said, thank you, Robin. Yep, thanks. Yes, we did that. It wasn't like 3 months ago, but that session is also on our channel as well. But please give them a call for assistance. I'm just going to put that number in once again. And what is, I may have asked you this last time, what's the best time to call? Maybe like more in the morning, or what are the hours of operation for the hotline?
Yeah, so our hotline is open from 9 a.m. to 5 a.m., but I would advise you to call in the morning. Um, the earlier, the better.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Robin. And out of the services that you had mentioned, I know again we've talked about a lot of those in our previous sessions, but with the end of the year coming up, I know technically so for some of us it may be like the first or second month, but what this past year, what have you seen as like the most need, or the programs that receive like the most buzz or inquiry at the legal counsel, or just in general in DC?
Oh, that is a great question. I mean, I have to say I feel like we see everything. You know, we see clients who are receiving letters from Social Security, sometimes saying that they owe Social Security either because of receiving a pension, receiving other benefits, or maybe they decided to go back to work while receiving benefits, and we're able to help our clients with their overpayment issues. We see clients who, worked all of their lives and maybe they're no longer able to work. They come to us to help them with their application for Social Security benefits. We help clients with housing, whether it's, eviction, getting assistance for their mortgage, getting assistance for their rent, paying utilities, transportation. So we see a little bit of everything at Legal Counsel for the Elderly. So if you need assistance, I would advise you again to give us a call. The earlier the better, closer to 9 a.m. If you don't hear from us, again, I apologize that the wait is a part of the process, but don't get discouraged. Call back, and someone will help you with your legal issue.
Thank you, thank you. And I'm sure if there's something that specifically someone needs help with, but you guys are not able to assist them in that way, I'm sure you guys refer folks to other organizations in DC for that particular challenge. Is that right?
Yes, Alex, that's right. We have good relationships with other organizations. The two that I named in the chat, Bread for the City, Legal Aid DC. We also have relationships with other organizations. So if there's something that maybe we can't help with, we'll be sure to find an attorney for you who can assist you.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Yes, no, it's always great to know, even if you may not be the perfect person for a particular challenge, just like us, we know how to refer out to someone who does, which is great. So that way, folks can get their agendas taken care of. So really appreciate that. And again, just I have one last question, but again, if y'all have any other questions, please feel free to raise your hand. But thank you so much for presenting on ERAP this month. Are there any kind of similar programs I know to kind of ERAP that you can mention for us?
While there aren't any other rental programs that I can mention, I will say that the Salvation Army is a next best step that we advise our clients on, because with ERAP, some of our clients will apply once a year, and then they'll come back, and if it hasn't been that year mark yet, they're not eligible, because again, ERAP is only you can only receive assistance one time a year. But the Salvation Army, depending on their funding, may have assistance. So we refer a lot of clients to Salvation Army to assist with rental assistance.
Thank you so much for that information. And definitely, I hope you guys were able to write down or take screenshots of that information. Definitely use your iPads to look into further resources. But definitely first, if it's you have a legal challenge in mind, please give the legal counsel a call. They've been so gracious to come on and present their information. So take advantage of their services. They're there to help as well. Any final thoughts on ERAP? Anything seniors should take note of, Robin, before we end? But make sure you all stay on for our poll for today.
Yeah, I want to share again about this upcoming DHS clinic. If you or a family member, someone you know, needs assistance, please tell them about the November 20th clinic where they can go in person and get assistance. I hope all of you have a good holiday season, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all next month.
Thank you, Robin. Let's all make sure to stay on for our poll. But let's say a big thank you so much to Robin. We hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving, Miss Robin. We'll see you next month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so much.
Robin. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes,
Robin.
Thank you,
Robin.
Robin. Thank you
Appreciate
so
Hey,
you.
much.
Robin.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
This was a good session,
Robin.
Thank you,
Robin.
Robin,
Thank
for
Thank
all the
you.
you. Thank
information.
you.
Thank
And
you.
Alex, thank you.